Hi, my name's Tess and I am here today showing you Lolo's wild rice salad. Lolo is my grandmother and she is famous for this salad. It's not really a salad. I don't think you can call anything with bacon fat in it to the extent that there's bacon fat and cream in here a salad. What I have in front of me right now is cooked wild rice. Now, wild rice isn't that easy to cook, but we have a no-fuss process to do it. All you have to do is do 1 cup of wild rice that you have rinsed really well. You're not going to want to use a normal colander. You're going to want to use a fine strainer for it because the wild rice is just a tiny little grain. Then you're going to put it into a 2-quart sauce pot. If you don't have one that's oven safe, use just a bread loaf pan. Same thing, just use tin foil as a lid. And you're going to add to that pan, however you're going to cook it, 2 cups of chicken stock. You're going to season it together, put the lid on it, and place it in a 500-degree oven. From that point, you're going to leave it alone for 20 minutes, and at 20 minutes, you're going to give it a nice little stir, put the lid back on, and put it in the oven for another 10. At that 10-minute point, you've been cooking it now for 30 minutes. You are going to turn the oven entirely off, and you are going to leave it alone. It's best to do this right before you go to bed because then you're not tempted to finicky with it and open up the oven and let all the heat out. You're just going to wake up in the morning and you're going to have exactly what I have here, which is cooked wild rice. Now is the thing that I like to add, and that is the bacon. So I'm going to take the bacon and I'm going to turn it on to a medium to medium low heat. You can do medium high. It depends on what kind of pan you're using and how your stovetop works. But you just want to start to get the bacon crispy and render out all the fat. While that's going, I'm going to take the heavy cream. And heavy cream is delicious. It's going to work in here the same way water would work to reheat white rice with like your leftover Chinese food. I'm going to use probably 3 tablespoons in this batch because it's still moist from cooking it just the night before. If you're leaving it for 2 to 3 nights in advance at this stage, you might need a little bit more. You just want to be able to get all of the cream absorbed. If there's anything at the bottom of the heavy cream, you have just used a little bit too much. Maybe leave it in the oven for longer, but you can pour the heavy cream in installments so that you just get a nice coating over each piece. So what we now have is perfectly cooked, delicious bacon. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a slotted spoon and just spoon the bits onto a paper towel. This is going to help the bacon stay crispy and delicious so that we can add it back to the wild rice later. I want to get everything out. And now we have this kind of pool of fat that we're going to take with a paper towel and just pour about half of it, you can eyeball it, right into the wild rice. And it's okay if it crackles. You just want to leave enough for when you put your vegetables in it. So I'm going to turn the saute pan back to the stove and place it on about medium-high heat. The pan is still hot, so I'm just going to go ahead and place my minced, or coarsely chopped rather, onions, carrots, and celery straight in. So now that I have my vegetables in the sauté pan, I'm going to add just a bit of salt and pepper. I like fresh ground pepper and garlic salt best. I just think it adds the most flavor. And the nice thing about these vegetables is they're high water content, so all that great bacon at the bottom, the bacon bits, they're going to deglaze the pan. You want to go until the pieces are just tender because remember you're going to cook them even more once you put them in here. And you can tell because the onions are just starting to become translucent. Now from here, you can put anything else you want in it, like of a vegetable. Like mushrooms are great. I don't really like mushrooms, but my grandmother adds them to hers. I'm also going to do the dried cranberries at this point. I actually have a blend of pomegranates in here. You can add whatever you like of the dry fruit. It's just going to add a little bit of pop. Give it one big stir to make sure everything's mixed up. Take this put a lid on it. You're going to set it in the middle rack of a 325-degree oven for 45 minutes. You're going to take the lid off and let it finish for the last 15. An hour later, you're going to add the bacon, and it's going to be ready to serve and delicious. Now that everything is cooked together for an hour and the rice is really hot, you can take this and put it in whatever serving dish you want. Get a nice mound of it and just top it with the bacon you cooked earlier, and enjoy.